Hey, what's up guys, Super Dave here. Welcome to this edition of Gaming in My Mama's House, and today we are playing a Plague Tale Requiem. Some of you might be familiar with the critically acclaimed A Plague Tale Innocence. Well, A Plague Tale Requiem is the sequel to that. I never got an opportunity to play A Plague Tale Innocence, so I'm jumping into the action right here in Requiem. And first and foremost, the storyline is a little hard to grasp in the beginning of the game if you're new to the series, but to those familiar with the series, I think this will be just a lovely transition as you journey with Amicia and Hugo, you know, and try to help Hugo. And yeah, a Plague Tale Requiem is placed in 14th century France, and you make your way through very beautiful parts of France, and also very challenging and dark, grimy, stinky, scary parts of France. And I think that's the beauty of this game from a look feel, from a visual feel, is that it does the really beautiful really well. The greenery, the lush grass, purple flowers in the fields. It does that really well to dead bodies, to rats, thousands of rats chasing after you, and just striking that balance between the two, between being a really beautiful game and being a really tough survival game. And beautifully. So yeah, I feel like that contrast within the game itself always leaves me very, very confused, because one minute I'm in awe on how beautiful this game is, and the next minute I'm like, damn man, I need to get out of here. These rats are giving me the heebie-jeebies, you know. Also, from a roller coaster ride, I think the storyline itself is very consuming. It's also quite the roller coaster ride. The characters that you meet within the game, your companions, your AI companions, and I know a lot of people love Hugo in the game, and they have a soft spot for Hugo, but personally I loved my journey with Lucas. I felt like I had a better bond with Lucas in the game than I did with Hugo, and I love that. And basically what you're trying to do is get your little brother Hugo out of France and to this little beautiful island where he hopes this will be his spot where he can heal. But also our lead protagonist in the game, Amicia, I think she's a strong protagonist, and the relationship she builds with her AI companions as you progress in the game is really lovely. And I think she's probably one of the best big sisters in the world, because ultimately she has only one person in mind, and that is Hugo, making sure that Hugo is okay. She's not the strongest of protagonists, like 2 strikes and you're dead. And I think this is where the game is also quite a challenge, you know. I think in order for you to survive, you also need to be strong, and our lead character is not the strongest. 2 strikes from an enemy and she's down. The first strike weakens you. If you don't find cover, or if you don't hide, or if you don't run away, the next strike knocks you out. You can counter that, but also it's a survival game, so resources are very limited, which can be a challenge, seeing that your AI opponents come in hordes, whether it's hordes of rats or whether it's tons of soldiers, you know, that you need to get through, which makes the game quite challenging in itself, but also makes it a bit unfair. But there's also ways to get around it. You can simply try and use the stealth approach. But the problem with the stealth approach is that in instances where you are faced with the rats and the soldiers, you usually tend to trigger one or the other. Our lead character does have various tools at her disposal to try and eliminate those threats. But just like I said, resources are very limited within the game, and there's not an abundance of of gathering and crafting that you can do. Yes, there are collectibles that you can collect, and that will aid you in your pursuit to try and defeat the rats or to try and defeat the soldiers. But they also come in limited quantities. You are given the opportunity to upgrade your carry pouch and carry additional ammo. The game in itself, as a survival game, has limitations, and those limitations I tend to think are a bit unfair to the player. They do pose a challenge, and I guess the game is asking you to challenge yourself and to apply your mind. But with that said, if that's the case, then give us a lead character that's slightly stronger, that won't be knocked out by just 2 blows. Give Amicia a fighting chance within the game itself. If there is one thing I do like about the game, is that the skill tree and how you level up the character is based on your gameplay. Usually when you're playing a game and you're trying to upgrade your character, in the back of your mind you think, no, I'm an action guy, I'm a head-on guy, I want to face all my enemies head-on, I want to kill all of them, I want to show them who I am. Then you'll go for the aggressive approach. But here your skill tree is grown by how you play the game. So I found, because of our lead character's limitations in terms of strength, I found myself being very careful and using a more of a stealth approach. Yes, and whenever I tried to go aggressive, I was always caught out and I kept dying. So I thought to myself, okay, cool. Worst case scenario, if the soldiers see me, I run away. I think that's wonderful. A lot of us tend to think that we are action guys, but deep down, we're actually just really scared of big bad soldiers, and we are really scared of rats. And the safer approach is usually the best bet. I guess for me, I loved the puzzle. I love the puzzle system, especially with Lucas. Since I said a lot of the time where I found the game to be very challenging is with my time with Lucas, because that's when we had to move obstacles in order for us to make way and to get past the rats. The mere fact that you can just control your AI companion just a little bit and they assist you in solving the puzzles, I love that. I think if there's a highlight of me playing a Plague Tale Requiem, it's definitely my time spent with Lucas, and how you solve the puzzles kind of reminds me just a little bit of the Uncharted series. It has that Uncharted element to it. I do believe that the game could do with a stronger lead character, not necessarily saying our lead character is weak. I wish you could take more punishment. I wish you could take more blows to justify her anger towards the world, to justify her rage. At times you do find yourself in instances where she goes gung-ho with a sling or with a bow, but even those instances in the game, I feel like those are missed opportunities, because all along you've been for lack of a better word, you've been pussyfooting your way around the gameplay. Now you're thrown into this part of the game where you have to be Miss Action, but Miss Action gets taken out by just 2 blows, and it's like, this feels a bit bop. Then you try again, and then another 2 blows. Then you try again, then another 2 blows. Then you're like, man, for how long can we do this? So I think if our lead character was slightly stronger or had a bigger health bar, I would have enjoyed it just a tidbit more. Let me know in the comment section below, man, if you've played a Plague Tale Requiem, or have you played a Plague Tale Innocence? What do you think of the series so far? Are you enjoying the sequel? Are you playing it on PS5 or on the Xbox Series X? Visually, where does it stand with you? Is it like one of the best looking games? It's a contender for Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, and I understand why the critics love it so much. My name is Super Dave. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Gaming in My Mama's House. Yeah, until the next video.